The Packers would get cornerback Patrick Surtain II, who was just involved in the draft, wide receiver Tim Patrick, quarterback Drew Lock, and then 2 number ones, a 22 and 23 first-round pick. The Broncos would get back Rodgers, plus a corner Eric Stokes, who was drafted late in round 1. The other thing that Denver did in this draft, early in round 2, they took Javonte Williams, the running back from North Carolina. And our buddy RC loved that. He said, Javonte can ball, just keep setting it up for Aaron, Denver, looking good. So, obviously, RC, you were thinking the same way that Bill and a lot of other people were thinking. Yeah. Let me quickly go to our GM first, though. Mike Tannenbaum, as you look at that trade, does it make sense?
It really does. It really kind of fits the bill for both sides, and here's why. I think Denver becomes a Super Bowl contender the moment that trade is made. And if you're Green Bay, you may have a young quarterback in Drew Lock, let him compete with Jordan Love, and then you have multiple first-round picks in the future. I do think Denver made a mistake in the draft, and here's why, Greeny. They should have taken that Chicago Bear trade, which was going from 20. They could have gone up to 9. Chicago would have gotten Justin Fields. Denver could have gone back to 20 and gotten either Greg Newsome from Northwestern or Caleb Farley, both really good corners, and a 1 and a 4 next year. They could have used that additionally to take Bill Barnwell's idea and build on it and given even more first-round picks to Green Bay to enhance the offer. So, and then ironically, Green Bay would have Chicago's first-round pick. So I think this is a good foundation, and this could be something that could actually get done.
All right, so RC, just take this deal, basically, and you wouldn't be taking a whole lot off of Denver's roster that they would require. Obviously, Drew Lock becomes irrelevant if you have Aaron Rodgers, and they've already traded for Teddy Bridgewater. So if you put Aaron Rodgers on the Denver Broncos right now, do they become the biggest threat to Kansas City in the AFC immediately?
You know what? I believe they do. And no, this doesn't mean that the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills aren't involved. But when you look at quarterbacks, even when we watch the Buffalo Bills play the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, you can see the difference in quarterbacks. You can see the difference in the way that they move teams. Aaron Rodgers immediately puts you on a level where you feel like going into a game against Patrick Mahomes, we might have the best quarterback today or any day of the week. And now you're thinking Cortland Sutton, you have Jerry Jeudy, obviously Hamler on the outside, Javonte Williams in the backfield, Noah Fant at tight end, and you have a defense that's getting better. Von Miller is healthy. If Eric Stokes is now the new safety, the new cornerback opposite Kyle Fuller, and obviously Justice Simmons, who is re-signed for 4 years. I believe if you put Aaron Rodgers on this team is built to win right now. And Aaron Rodgers is the type of player that gives other people on the team the confidence that a Tom Brady brought to Tampa Bay. And so if you're the Denver Broncos, you have to keep calling that phone. You have to keep texting, keep getting in Brian Gutekunst's DMs and saying, look, let's make this play. Let's make this move. Aaron does not want to play for you. Get something for him, and let's move on.
And so, Jeff, I feel like Denver is the team that we keep hearing about publicly the most. The people you talk to inside the league, is the sense you get that right now the favorite to land Aaron Rodgers is Denver?
Yeah, I would say that, and it's not based on, like you've said, the conversations between Denver and the Packers, which we're unaware of at this point. It's instead the fact that, like, the draft, for instance, maybe remedied a lot of quarterback situations across the league. Like, I would say Chicago, for instance, would be a team, despite being a bitter rival of the Packers, and how we could fathom that as something. But they got Justin Fields, so that settles that. Like, the Miami Dolphins feel like they're all in now with Tua to find out what he's got this following year. Could that change? Perhaps. Like, there's dynamics and landscapes that could change, but right now it feels like the Denver Broncos are still the team that is championship caliber, in need of a quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers certainly would be that guy.
For what it's worth, his fiancée, Shailene Woodley, I believe, lives in Boulder, Colorado, or is raised in Boulder, Colorado. That may have absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it's close to Denver. It seemed worth throwing into the conversation. Right? It just seemed worth throwing into the conversation. Now, Barnwell also brought up the Raiders, which is a fascinating one to me. And this is the trade that he projected the Raiders could make. The Packers would get Derek Carr, and then a number 1 and a number 2 next year, and then another number 1 in 23. And in exchange, Vegas would get Rodgers plus a 4th-round pick somewhere. So before I give you my opinion on this one, because I have a pretty strong opinion on this one, Mike T., what do you think? Just if you're looking at that on paper, and you're Green Bay, and you're assessing those two deals, which one do you like better?
Well, I like the first one because I want to see what I have in Drew Lock. I may have a quarterback of the future. He's nowhere near Aaron Rodgers, but we may be able to win with him. And here's something that bears repeating, Greeny, which is Aaron Rodgers may look at the Vegas offensive line and say, no, thank you. I need to be protected. I don't believe in what you did. I don't like Alex Leatherwood. You gave up 3 offensive linemen in the offseason. And again, if he doesn't report, game over. It doesn't matter if Green Bay loves the package from Las Vegas. So Aaron Rodgers has a meaningful seat at the table. And he may say, you know what? I may want to be coached by Pat Shurmur in Denver. Maybe I don't like John Gruden. That's going to be a factor behind the scenes because if he doesn't show up, there is no trade.
I will give you the flip side of that. Obviously, he may not have any interest in John. But RC, you and I both know John. I mean, John Gruden worked at ESPN for a decade. I interviewed him once a week, every week for 10 years. John Gruden has never stopped trying to find Brett Favre again. He developed Brett Favre as a quarterback coach in Green Bay.
That's awesome.
And he has never stopped seeking that guy. And when we always jokingly say, Gruden's favorite quarterback is always the next one he can get, it's because he's always trying to get back to that. It is my belief, RC, that John Gruden will do anything and would give anything to get Aaron Rodgers. What do you think?
I love that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. John Gruden will talk Mark Davis into getting a real-life fade if he could get Aaron Rodgers. He will make him change his haircut. That's how bad he wants Aaron Rodgers. Listen, and I'm not mad at him. And if you're the Green Bay Packers, I know Mike T is saying maybe he doesn't like that job or he doesn't like that trade or Aaron Rodgers won't like that trade. If I'm the Green Bay Packers, I like it, right? I get Derek Carr, who I believe is a better quarterback than Drew Lock, and Aaron probably won't win as many games because he's going to get killed behind that offensive line. And so that is a real thing what Mike T is talking about with Aaron Rodgers having a seat at the table. You have to look at the team, not just the fact that the head coach likes you or loves you, but you have to look at the team and say, can I win? Aaron Rodgers is at a point in his career, still an MVP, but he's on the downside, right? He's closer to the end than the beginning, and he wants a Super Bowl.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.